Welcome to Money Convos, where we discuss personal finance and investment tips. We're committed to helping people create wealth and achieve financial freedom. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Clubhouse, and Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube and podcast. All right then, let's head into today's conversation.
Big Adam, how are you?
Yeah, hello, Elikem. I'm doing good.
Wonderful.
I'm go. Senior Bishop, they're now there. They miss it. They go higher with that too.
They go too much. I see. You see, somebody once said, when you go to Tadi, you think that there's no unemployment there because everybody's calling each other director, chairman, boss.
The boss.
No unemployment there. Hey, Charlie,
I know.
hype.
Kali, you know, busy.
They can hype. But anyway, how are you doing, man?
Oh, doing good, though. Been up and about. Just a little bit tired, but we are fine.
So I heard that the Hamatan is doing shakara over there.
I think this from last week to now the Hamatan has been okay, but it's been the heat, some unbearable heat. Oh, Charlie!
Wow.
Heat too.
What temperature is it in Celsius or in Fahrenheit?
Oh, in degree Celsius. I know we've been doing around 33, 34 thereabouts. It's not that much, but you feel, but the real feel is like 39.
I see. Okay. That's pretty high. I see. That's interesting. Okay. Cool. In fact, this forecast is telling me that it's raining there. Is it raining in Accra today?
I can see clouds gathered. Yesterday it rained, but my area here, they say the sins are too many. So it's not been me and myself, our area. It's not been raining.
Oh, and you people are not enough to save them. I
don't know. Or maybe what do you say?
I didn't even know it was raining it drizzled on my car. And then
it drizzled yesterday. Yes.
So maybe
there's nothing more annoying than Hamatan that will bring dry conditions to make your car dusty, and then some small sprinkling of rain drizzles, and the car is just looking nasty like leopard.
Like you are not serious, and like me, I watch this car Monday.
Imagine. Anyway, Mimi, how you doing?
I'm well, you.
I'm good. I listened to the conversation that you guys had on Investment Friend with the Love Project people, and it was interesting. Yes. It was quite an interesting conversation. Yeah, and and you know that conversation is what led us to thinking. Is what made you suggest that we should have a conversation about money dates. So,
yes,
today we are going to get into it. We'll be talking about various aspects of this, trying to find out what a money date is, how it's different from a normal date. Is it supposed to be unromantic, or you can sprinkle some romance in there, you understand? Then we need to also know which people should be doing money dates. Is it for high school children's or it is for 50-year-old people? We need to know who exactly should do it, why it's relevant, how to do it, and how to do it properly, what things to avoid in there. So we'll be taking each aspect one after the other, and looking forward to hearing our different perspectives on this. So let's see. Adam, let me ask you first. Have you ever gone on a money date? Or not gone, but even done a money date before?
No, I haven't. So I'm here to take notes and learn. Money dating part be that.
Oh.
Well, I'm talking about money, but like I mean, you understand. The money date there. Yeah. This one, they will defer to Mimi. I know say she get experience. So she will give me.
Okay. So Mimi,
Why you
have
tell
you
her
ever
when you
gone on?
need help?
Maybe they said we should defer to you. So have you gone on money dates before?
Actually, I didn't even know there was such a thing till I what do you call it? I started researching on these things for content. But have we had a date where we sit and talk about serious stuff? Yes, not limited to money. But I thought the money date was a good idea because I mean it's like you're dedicating that to money, because sometimes you just touch the topic, you don't like go deep. So knowing that we are going to be talking solely about our money on this date, for me, I think it's a nice idea. And you said, is it sprinkled with some romance? Yeah, I don't think it should be a dry date. I mean, that's what separates maybe going for a business meeting from a money date. So sprinkle some romance here and there, make it exciting, make it fun. I think that's what would make it worthwhile, if you ask me. Yeah.
Interesting. That's what. So sprinkling some romance in there small will make it interesting. On a quick side note, remember some time back, I was having a serious conversation with somebody. It wasn't about money. It was about career and things. We're talking serious matter, and of course, this is somebody I was talking to in a romantic setting at the time. When we're talking serious matter, then she's coming to use soft voice and things. I say, madam, we are talking serious business. When we finish this particular topic, then we'll get back to soft life. But for now, let's be serious. Sit upright. Then the matter, I get that that's a bit extreme, but that matter was very close to my heart. Anyway,
Is
so
that why the relationship ended, or what could have been a relationship?
no, not at all, not at all. No.
Other
I
things.
think I've even exaggerated. I didn't say sit upright. No, I didn't say sit upright. Like I exaggerated the story. It wasn't that deep. But definitely not something for. We are taking serious matter.
Hey, teacher,
We need to focus. No, but you see, here's the thing, and this is my thinking. I thought the person was playing too much with the matter. And you know that thing, that thing where people say this. I don't want to hastily generalize or make it stereotypical, but people say that women talk just to vent and they just want to be listened to. And men, when we talk, is because we want solutions. So this was a matter that the person, it had come up a few times. I wasn't pushing, but then the person brought it up again. I was like, or I brought it up. I was like, do you want to have a serious conversation about it? The person's like, yes. Is this a good time to have a serious conversation? Yes. If it's a good time to have serious conversation, then which kind of manipulations are you trying to do to make the conversation less serious? You understand? But anyway, I think different styles apply to different people. But yeah, we are gonna get into what is how to conduct a money date properly. That was what career date, and hopefully I also learn from that. Anyway, so let's get into it. I guess first, I would ask what is a money date, but then it got me thinking. We just need to even define what a date is first, because so I don't want people to have too many high expectations. If I can't go to Kempinski or the fanciest restaurant, then we can't have a date now. For me, I think a date is any time you are spending together, dedicated and focusing on enjoying your experience together. Whether you are doing an activity or you are just sitting at home eating fried yam, like you people's your guest said on Investment Friend last week. Even if it's just fried yam or you are just watching TVs, I think for me, I'll define a date as such. Of course, some people have other definitions, but time together spent deliberately. Mimi, how about you? How would you define a date, and even more so a money date?
Well, I think that a date is like deliberately setting aside time with the other party to do whatever. You can have a goal. So it can be a movie date. That's of course to watch movie. It can be a picnic, whatever. But it's like time you set apart specifically for the two of you to spend quality time with each other and spend time doing something specific, or at least a number of specific things. Okay. So with the money dates, basically you want to talk about money, or you want to set the tone for an important, money conversation. And so that's the purpose of it. Like you said, it doesn't need to be anything time. However, why not? If you have money, you can split. You can even travel for this money date and add other things as well, if that works for you, right? But it could be going to one of these gardens. The last time I tried that thing, we went to Legon Botanical Gardens to discuss strategy for it was so I don't know the same, but it's serene atmosphere where you just talk. Restaurant, I know, maybe the music can be distracting, but if you get like a cool, serene, nice place where you can eat as well, because we are Ghanaians, eating is part of it. The purpose is to have discussions about money, or at least focus more on discussions. There could be other stuff, but there should be a lot more focus on money for the date. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. So you cut your coat according to your size. If you can make it exciting with some extra money because you have some, go ahead and do it. All right, but make sure that the the environment is conducive. You don't go and plan a picnic on the day that is going to rain, and then you show up late. You mess up the whole plan. No, you have to set everything up nicely to allow for the other person to have warm, fuzzy feelings and come ready rather than be already mad about something. Okay, great. So yeah, who should have these kind of conversations? People like Edem, or people like you, or who? Huh?
So you said people like Edem.
They're not yet married people, or is it? And even they're not yet married, not yet in a relationship, or in a relationship, not yet married, or married, or what?
As in the people who should have the money dates.
Yeah.
Well, I think that I feel it may be a bit too weird for somebody you just met. I think that one, you don't necessarily need like a date to talk about it. It can be in person every now and then. You throw a question, and to just get to know the way the person thinks. But I think as things get serious, so somebody you think that you are going to spend life with, then you take it the next level. So I of course, if you've been proposed to, or you are like the typical Ghanaian who knows where things are going, right? You can add it to the list of things you do as a way of getting to know your person and also planning your future. You can add it to the list of things you do, because if you are not like really serious about this person, what are you going on a money day to talk about, really? Because you are basically going to talk about your what do you call it, your life together, where you think you're going, maybe then the various things that would help you get there, things you need to stop, things you need to start, that kind of thing. So if there's nothing serious between you two, then what are you going on the money date for? I feel like there are other ways to talk about money, and that one, you wouldn't need to go too deep. You just want to know the way the person thinks about money and handles money. So I don't think you need you just need to observe and ask the right questions with that one. So this one, I recommend it more for people who are settling down together, and people who are already together. Yeah.
Wait, let's clarify. When you say settling down together, I just want the proper legal term so that people hear it right.
I think is it not courting?
So are you saying people who are married, yes, they should do it, right?
People who are married and then people who are like courting.
In this day and age, people don't understand some of these terms. Okay, so people who are in a serious relationship planning to get married or with the intentions that they should get
someone
married.
You propose to your person or you both of you know that this is what we want to do in the next year or two. Yeah.
Okay.
And then why you laughing?
Okay. I see. So if the person hasn't proposed to you yet, you shouldn't have that conversation.
No, that's why I said that. You see, in Ghana, sometimes depending on the kind of person you are dating, they may not say anything, but both of you know that this is what we are. Maybe they wouldn't go on bended knees and give you any ring, but you people know already that you are getting married. Like it's not like you are still imagining things. So like thing we are working towards. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I want to add this. I think that even if you and somebody haven't gotten so serious yet, it's kind of in line with what you were saying. Even if you've not gotten so serious yet, that you know that okay, we want to get married, or even before you even try to date somebody, sprinkling those kind of conversations. Oh, do you save? Do you invest? Maybe not on first date, no, but not in the first couple. Depending on your pace. Some of us we like to go very fast. Some too like to take it slow. So depending on how fast you like to go, gauge your tempo, and then if you normally do 1 month, then you execute and get into a relationship. Maybe by week 2, by like week 3. If you like to take it long, 6 months, then fine. After the halfway point, before you say okay, I will be official. No, that's is why I suggest, because sometimes you don't want depend well different people and why they date. Some people just want to date for fun, but if you know that you are dating deliberately, part of the pre-selection is before you get into the relationship. It's you need to ask certain questions, know certain perspectives about how people handle certain things before you even get into a relationship with them. Then by that time, I think sometimes when people get locked into a certain stage, there's this sunk cost fallacy. So they feel like, oh, but I've already committed so much. Oh, but I've known this person for a long time. Oh, but meanwhile, if you had known this particular thing on day one, you wouldn't have gone in to pursue it, or you'd have tried to address it early on and then you'd be at this point. But it just impairs judgments if the conversation is not had early enough. But there are levels to the conversation. Don't go too deep too early. When you're in a proper relationship, you've accepted, you know what you are calling it. Not that every now and then you ask the person, what are we? Interesting. Okay. I'm sure by now people are asking Dennis, what are we? Fresh boy, 6 foot something. Yeah. Anyway. Baby, we're going to say something.
No, I'm just laughing at Dennis. Financial consultant.
You understand? His titles are plenty. Chief producer and things. Anyway, Dennis, do feel free to come up here if you to join us if you would like. All right, so moving on, we've established money, what a money date is, who should have it, and I kind of got a sense about why we should have it, but let's just put it out there, right? And Mimi, why do you think it's necessary for people to have money dates at whatever level they are at in their relationship?
Well, I think that money, like any other important conversation, is something that we shelve and don't talk about. And I think that when you're dating somebody, it's very easy to be talking about, oh, I love you, blah, 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 those kind of things. The things you've been telling the girls. Yeah. It's very easy
Wasn't me.
It's very easy to have those conversations, and then when you get married too, it becomes hey, wait till your school fees, with the bills and the rest. So if you don't deliberately like have our time to have these conversations, you'll be running all over the place without direction. So for me, that's why I think it's important, because for me personally, um well, my husband and I, we are very different, right? And so these conversations would have been very good for us to come to some sort of an agreement, right? But that can happen on a normal day. I think it's something that we need to sit there, be deliberate about, speak about, because we will definitely disagree, come to some sort of an agreement, and that guides the smaller decisions on normal days, because we have, I think it will even help with conflict, because we already, like, we've had the hard conversations, so the smaller ones just fit in. You get what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I think those conversations should be had. First of all, it's very easy for us to sweep it under the carpet and talk about more irrelevant things. Secondly, it gives direction, especially if you are married to somebody. It gives you a sense of direction as to this hard work we are doing. Where exactly are we going? So yeah.
I feel you. You need to know where exactly you are going with all this hard work that you are putting into the relationship. For me, I'll add a few because it seems I'll be the voice of the not married people. And then Adam will also ask chip in for the not married people too. And then we have Seram joining us. Seram, welcome. How you doing?
Hi, Elikem. Very well, thank you. I hope you are too. Hi, everyone.
I'm great. Great. Okay. All right. So, Adam, let's hear what you like to add on to this.
Oh, okay. So I was going to say that it is also important, or some of the reasons why we need to have that is because we need, in any serious relationship, we need ideas. We need to have like some form of an agreement in the direction of where you are headed. And one important aspect of our lives is finances. So if you have a serious relationship that's leading to marriage, or a marriage relationship, you need to ensure that you regularly are having these communications, so that it is not like you are all doing your own separate things in your corner, and you are being surprised by what one person is doing or the other person is doing. And you just, it's a journey. You are moving towards something. So if one person is on one level and the second person is on another level, then that is where the conflict starts coming. So these these money dates will help to fine tune things, where you meet as middle ground, where you have agreed on firm things, where you are not able to agree on, at least you seem to have an idea of where the other person is coming from. Maybe you can shift those discussions to later times. And at least it helps to smoothen out some of these issues before they blow out of proportion. Welcome.
Wow. Sorry about that. Yeah. Just want to add a few thoughts to the why. I like what Adam said about agreement and resolving things before they blow up out of proportion. So I'm just looking at a verse from the Bible. It says Amos chapter 3, verse 3. And it's in the New Living Translation. It asks, can two people walk together without agreeing on the direction? Charlie, I don't go to church too often, but every now and then a nice Google search will just open the word for me. Yeah. So I think that's a key thing. These conversations help you set the vision, set direction, and allows you to know where agree on where you are going, right? And also just to keep it simple for me, I think as a voice of the single people, the legally single people, I would say that it helps with the selection process. Even if you are not yet married, before you are married, it helps with the selection process, because having some of these conversations will make you realize that, Charlie, maybe we are not that compatible. So do it. Like, don't avoid them out of the fear of how bad things could go on, because the alternative is it will get worse later if you don't figure it out. Also, these conversations just help you to understand each other, find solutions to whatever problems you have, and then also look out for opportunities. Adam was talking about ideas, so yeah, helps you get some of those things in there. All right, so let's get a bit more into the modalities. Perhaps how should we do this? How often should we do it? How long should it be? Should it be like a 1 hour meeting at a time, or maybe 2 hours, or you have to do it like a workshop or a retreat? Go one whole weekend, like Mimi did recently, and then you go to the mountain and go and consult. I have a feeling I have a feeling the answer I'll get from Mimi, but let's hear if I'm true. If what I'm thinking is true. Mimi, what do you think?
Oh, the recent one wasn't a money date. There wasn't enough time to talk about money.
Hey, enjoyment only. Okay.
I've forgotten the question.
So how often should you do it? How long should it last for? Anything about the how?
Well, I think it depends on the
Ding,
couple.
ding,
But
ding,
I'm
ding,
thinking
ding.
that
I bet to myself that you say it depends, so I've won. Anyway, I'll let you go ahead.
But to me, I think that once a quarter, so that you are really in agreement, you get it. I think once a quarter at least is fine. Because I feel like the longer you wait to have another conversation, the more chances there are to have like a lot of misunderstandings, because sometimes things change a lot, and so you would want to. So you can have like one major one, or maybe two major ones in a year, maybe two smaller ones like check-ins, and if there are any updates or something like that. So I think that at least once a quarter should be fine. But even if you can't do once a quarter, at least once a year, talking about the main plan. So just talking about the main plan and wait now till the next. I don't think it will work. Honestly, I think once a quarter at least should work better. Yeah.
Hey, once a quarter ton. So if somebody goes to spend more than the budget, then how do we do it? We wait till the end of the quarter.
That's why I said that at least once a quarter.
Okay.
If you can do it, yes. If you can do it every month too, that's fine. Remember that I think it's like a company strategy session, right? Sometimes, well, I know where I am. Every quarter, you have to go and meet the board and then give them feedback on Charlie, what has happened, what your plans are, for the future and everything. But of course, depending on you and your spouse, because remember that it's not only money you are going to talk about, right? Only money that maybe you may want to use some months to, spend time with the kids, other things. There may be other competing needs. But if it's something you can do monthly too, that's fine. Now we're checking the budget and those things. Those things may not necessarily take time if you have like a framework. You guys have worked on a framework. So that one I think you can do without necessarily going on a money date, my opinion. But at least once a quarter I feel is good enough.
Okay. So I'm getting the sense that you can be having normal conversations about money every now and then, but the money date is more dedicated. Those ones they need to go on the calendar and schedule it so that we know it's serious business. All right, cool. Let me bring Sarah into the conversation. I know you have a few thoughts to share to catch up with what we've been discussing. But while you do that, I would also want to know your take on what are some of the things people should be talking about during these money dates. So Auntie Say, go ahead.
Hi everyone.
Charlie, you know it's bass only when she clears the truth first.
Oh please, Elikem. So maybe before I start, I one of the things I regret I regret not doing was having these conversations before the marriage state, because trust me, marriage is, as I said, different ball game altogether, and especially when money when you are dating and you don't talk about the money, and one person in the why am I even speaking after? Let me use myself and my husband. We dated for a number of years, right? and he was at the point where at the time he was doing a lot of these consultancy work, blah blah blah. So like Charlie, money was coming in, and I was releasing my phone, changing phones every year. He was buying the latest gadgets for himself, blah blah blah. And there was nothing like there was just not even the awareness to talk about money. So it's like, okay, so you had this picture in your mind that, look, Charlie, more money, is going to be coming in, blah blah blah, and then you transition into marriage, and now it's like, see, it's not like I'm coming to impress you or anything like that, but like reality check, and things are not happening the way it used to be, right? And so what happened to all the money that we were spending, we were blowing, like you realize that, look, now if we could turn back the hand of time, we'll probably have done the things differently. We'll probably have put those funds in investment. We'll probably not have been spending it on iPhones and the like. So it's really critical. Like if you are on this you are listening and you are not married yet, please make sure you have money conversations before you get married. So now let's come to those of us who are married.
Hold on, before you even enter this matter, I just, when you are in church and then the pastor will be preaching, and then the praise and worship leader or the man will bring in a song. I have a song for you. If I could turn,
I know, right?
turn back the hand of time.
I will do so many things differently. Unfortunately, I'm sure I would have been a millionaire by now, because trust me, like the monies that has passed through those years. See, only God. But let's not cry over spilled milk.
This one there, in fact, this song is from Medical. Winyasika we doom.
Oh no, but as you talk, you need to also plan, because if we had some of these conversations, if we had sat down to talk about the vision, like what do we want out of life? What's the big picture, right? Where do we want, what kind of lifestyle do we want to live? What kind of school do we want our kids to go to? And what kind of accommodation? Where do we want to live? Which area? These are some of the conversations you have on money dates. Even with someone you are not married to, then these would inform, because if you start thinking about, if we want to have this certain type of lifestyle, we want to be traveling around, it immediately, it tells you that, look, am I taking steps that are going to allow us to live this type of lifestyle, right? Because you can't consistently be having a conversation or have a plan with somebody and the two of you are not doing anything about it. Like it won't, I don't think it would work. Once you are talking about it, automatically it psychs you up. It helps you, it prompts you to be more intentional. So you realize that instead of just going to blow funds here, you are thinking about, okay, the next 2 years, we say we are settling down. Are we going to pay for our wedding? Is it going to be sponsored? What type of wedding do we want to have? Then you consciously start planning towards it. So those are some of the conversations you need to have on your money dates. Like, what's the big picture? What are we doing? Like, how do you spend? Like, what's the plan? Like, what's the vision for us, right? Then you also want to find out, what the person's, like, I don't want to say money mindset, but you need to understand how the person views money, what the person spends, prioritizes, what would, because I think the live we had, someone said he would rather buy books than even food to eat. Do you get it? Maybe that is the person's priority. So you need to understand what people value, and then based on if it aligns with you, fair enough. If it does not align with you, then you start advising yourself before you tie the knot. And for those of us who are married, again, it boils down, where do we want to go from here? So for us, that's the question we have been asking ourselves recently. Like, where do we want to go? Do we have a plan, right? Because there was a time where I was doing things alone. So I had my whole plan with what the kind of lifestyle I want for even my kids, right? So when I started my kids' college fund, I was doing it alone. That was when the CD was, manageable. Then the city went haywire, and then the plan that I had, I obviously could not afford to do it by myself. Then I roped in, like, so why didn't you tell me about this all this while? So at least we are on the same page, at least on that level. Do you get it? So it just boils down to having a clear picture and a vision that you are both working towards. Ellie can forgive me. My thoughts are all over the place. Thank you.
Yeah, that's very powerful. That's very powerful. There's one point you mentioned about before having these conversations before. That's hear me grounded. The closing my eyes to picture where the kind of school that I want my children to attend has been a major driving part of my career. That's while I was in Ghana, I want my children to go to a school like GIS. That means we have to be able to afford it. It's not like all the salary will go there. No, 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 no. That would have to be a fraction. You understand? So then we have to work to get to a certain level. Anyway, but yeah, that's those kind of that bringing up that vision on the topic of like what are we talking about before marriage. It's about what is your vision for yourself, and I'm picking this up from the conversation that you had last week. The vision for yourself as an individual, the vision for your partner also as an individual, see where the synergies are, see where, okay, so we together, what is going to be our collective vision? Once you can have that vision, you can picture it, and you need to know that visions need to get funded. The Range Rover you want to drive is money that will be used to pay for it. If you want to go on lavish vacations, it's money that will be used to pay for it. So what do you do now? How much are you going to be putting aside now to prepare for that future? If your income is not there yet, then you ask yourself, okay, then what are we doing to improve ourselves so that we can get better paying careers? And then you motivate each other. So that when somebody has to go and write an exam and the person said they wake up at dawn and the alarm blows and the person is still rolling in bed, what do? You kick them off the bed. You understand? So yeah, that can be very motivating. Or if somebody comes from work, said they'll learn, it's not learning. What do you do? Mind the person, Charlie, the dream over. What's up? I once had a client. He was a director at a popular corporation in Ghana, and I asked, and he's quite youngish. I think at the time he was in his early 40s, and I asked him, hey, Charlie, look, do you have any advice for a young man like me? In fact, late 30s, actually. I didn't say mid. No, actually, at the time, he was mid 30s. He was my boss's mate. Yeah, mid 30s by then. And he's already at like just below C-suite if he's not even there already. And he's like, Charlie, it's not me, it's my wife. It's my wife. She's, even though he earns way more than her, she's the one who keeps him in line. And he's the spendthrift, but she keeps him in line. I'm like, because they've had these conversations, they know each other's nature, and he knows that his wife will keep him in line. So when he's doing something, he'll consult his wife. The wife will either be a voice of reason or say, okay, at this time you get a pass. And he when he was saying it happily. He wasn't saying it like somebody who said, Charlie, my wife doesn't let me chop money. Because you can still see that he's happy. He's happy to be a part of that process. He knows his weakness and he's got somebody to help him in. And it could be either way. It could be the man who rather wants to be more thrift, and then the woman will be a spender. But striking that, knowing each other, how to complement each other. So have that conversation, and it will help you into the future. Yeah, let's see. Mimi, Edem, are there any topics that you think we've not touched on what exactly people should be talking about?
By the way, I forgot to say, I was excited to hear those scriptures. I think on behalf of Edem and I and all the bishops in the house. Anyway, yeah, I think that having the discussion about the vision is great, and which will lead to, like Siram said, how do we fund this vision? Which, like you said, we would start having a discussion about our career, what there. Like I remember when you started talking about your vision to take your kids to these luxury schools and to buy the Benz. it was all about, I need to move out of here to be able to do that. So that sort of shaped your decisions. And I mean, we look back to that time and we see that you are getting there. Okay, so I think that first the vision, having the discussion about the vision, and then it going down to how do we achieve this. For me, that was a very important part of the conversation, because a lot of the time, personally for me, I will start with, why are you spending this? We need to save. Oh, we need to like, and the other person is wondering, like, why are you depriving me, right? But if you start with a vision, then it makes it easier for all of us to run with it, knowing that this is what we are sacrificing for. It also makes it easier for you to communicate with the kids as you go along, that this is where we are going as a family. And I remember, Paul Mante, I'm sure you've heard this story, would make reference of, he telling the kids that, I think he told the kids that if they are able to turn off all the lights at the right time or something, they'll be able to. I think he drove around with his kids, showed them some of the beautiful houses, and told them that if they are able to, put the lights off or save electricity, they'll be able to move into one of those houses. So the kids were always making sure the lights were off, and when their grandma tries to do otherwise, like, they report it. So like knowing exactly, having a clear picture of where we are going, and then we breaking that down into, how do we get there? What are some of the things that we can do daily, to be able to get there? What is our current lifestyle? What is standing in our way? How do we position ourselves to be able to get there? Is it our career? Do we need to be more ambitious? Are we spending too much? Are we not taking enough risk? So I think starting with that first will give you an idea of, every other conversations you should have, which may differ from person to person. However, the budget will also become key, because the budget also answers how. I think the budget even reveals where the gaps are, which will help you know what to focus on. Yeah, so that's what I'll add.
That was very powerful. That was a good story. The kids reporting granny. That's a funny one. But it just also just talks about, even I know it's not out of context, but having conversations with your kids too. Basically, it's all about communication, right? All these things just get me thinking about. It's just talk. It's not. Don't keep things in your head. Don't make assumptions. Just talk to the next person. You are working with someone. Talk to them. You are in a family. Talk. And then we are talking about what exactly should we talk about. There may be many things that we've not touched on, but the whole point is, if something gets into your head, you feel like this is a conversation I need to have, make some time and have that conversation. I encourage people to work on their communication skills, because yes, in as much as you want to say it, there are different ways of saying things. And if you know your partner and you're paying attention, you know the right way to say, the right way, time, and all that to say something to the person. And also the other side too is being good at receiving communication. Let's not make people always have to walk on eggshells to be able to talk to us, so that we can hear them out and allow there to be progress in our relationships. Anyway, keeping it moving, right? I just have a few questions on this topic of money dates, and I just go around and ask different people what you think about these things. What stops people from doing these kind of money dates? Is there any particular reason you can think of? Who would like to take that one?
Okay.
Okay, we've not heard Auntie C's voice in a minute, so Sarah, you can take that one.
First of all, I think is the fact that they are not even aware that they need to be having these conversations. So that was my case. I genuinely was just not aware. So it was, in fact, and neither was he. So it was two blind people leading each other. So that's one. But then even after that, since becoming aware, money is a very sensitive topic. And it's difficult to have it without emotions aside. So sometimes if you, for instance, don't have your money in order, and you're going to have these conversations, there's a fear that you are going to expose yourself. It's like somebody's going to see your mess. So there's also that hesitation, which is why some people would run away from such conversations. And money is hard. And another reason is, again, the approach. Because if it is always like you're coming, as Mimi's example is always going to be like, you spend too much, you spend, why did you buy, of course, the other party will just not be interested, because it's always like I'm always going to be the guilty one. Yes, you are good with your money, and I'm always the horrible one. So I think sometimes the approach, the fact that the vulnerability, and then the emotions associated with it, and the fact that you genuinely do not even know to have these conversations.
Those are quite insightful. You don't know that it's something you should talk about, and also it's just sometimes it just goes wrong, or you feel vulnerable when you're having that conversation. That's interesting. All right, let's see. So Mimi, I have one for you. What if you're trying to have, and if in fact you actually kind of refer to it, so I think you'd be even the perfect person for this. So let's say you're trying to have this conversation, a money date with your partner, or even just talk about money in general with your partner, and the person keeps stonewalling. What do you do? Like, the person just resists. Look, I don't want to have this conversation, or the person's dodging you. Yeah, that's what I mean by stonewalling.
Well, I feel like if it's somebody you are courting, or dating, Ghanaian dating, right? You can get a third party. Maybe, why don't we go for this program? Get an opportunity for a third party to come in to speak. Because sometimes people may not open up to you, but if a third party comes in, and even a third party could even be a movie, people may not open up to you, but if you watch a particular movie or something together, it may allow them to open up to talk about it. Because remember that people are also from like different backgrounds. For some people, talking about money was forbidden, so you may slowly have to get the person involved, deploy some. You may not have to go directly. Once you've studied this person, you may have to use different alternatives or different ways to be able to get the information you want, or you be able to get the person to open up to you. But if you've tried and it's not working, I think that it may be a red flag. It may be a red flag, because you really don't know what it is that you are dealing with. If you are married, I think sometimes you've already, like, the ship has already sailed, right? So you need to meet the person, like we've been saying. A lot of the time we come from a place of, I've got my money right, I need you to get your money right as well. So it seems very judgmental, and it may be difficult for people to also open up with their money. So maybe you can look for softer ways to go about it. For me, one way I thought I saw worked was, I made my husband watch the how to get rich, the Ramit Sethi thing, and then he started talking about it. Meanwhile, if I had said the same thing, he wouldn't be pleased, because he thinks that I'm the finance person, I've come to judge him, that he's not got his money right. And honestly, a lot of the time I've come from a very judgmental place, right? And so by him watching that and listening to another person he knows is not judging him, he's a bit more open to even have the conversation with me. So I think that you should study who you are dealing with and know how to chip it in. I also think the vision thing is a very good way to go about it, because if you have a level-headed partner, hopefully you're married, right? And of course they would want to progress, right? They want you to progress, so you definitely have a discussion of where are we going, and then they can break it down into, okay, this is our money, how do we manage it? So for me, that is how I would go about it. I'll say that for money, it should always be softer, unless the person you are dealing with is like an Elikem, you know, who already knows his stuff. The person is already like he wants to talk about it, then you can hit hard. But if the person is not like a finance professional, even finance professional, not everybody wants to open up. But if the person is not someone who wants to like open up or it's a bit touchy with their money, I think you should take it slow and don't be judgmental. Understand where the person is coming from, understand that the person's background is different, and try different tactics to see how it goes. But if it's someone you're dating and you've tried it all and it's not working, it could be a red flag. I don't know. That's what I think, my personal opinion.
Pay attention to the red flags. Okay. Try to work it out, but if it's not working, it's probably a red flag. And if you're already in there, maybe in terms of bringing third parties in, would you also recommend what is it called? Counseling?
Yeah. Honestly, sometimes third parties, I know, of course, especially with the older folks, it seems like if you bring a third party and you feel you are washing your dirty linen and all that. But I think that sometimes a third party helps salvage situations, because you are all maybe stubborn about accepting or seeing things from the other person's perspective. So the third party, hopefully, if you go and get a wise one, would help you see things would help you listen, because sometimes they are not listening, you know. The third party would help you listen to the other person's perspectives, see things from the other person's way, so that you can come to an understanding or come to a conclusion on what works best. I have had a third party situation maybe a couple of times, maybe about 2 times, you know. One was after I had my second, and I was somewhere else emotionally, and my husband thought that I should handle something a certain way, and I was handling it differently. So he took me. He took me to the third party, and then we had a conversation. And I mean, we resolved it. We moved on. So there's nothing wrong with, inviting a third party if you've tried working it out on your own and it's really not working.
Good point. I appreciate your vulnerability in sharing that with us. So guys, let's not have some stigma to this. Let's get help when we need it. It's better to get help so that you don't have a problem than to wait till it's too bad. Okay, great. Adam, this one, yeah, you are perfect for this one. If you are not yet married to someone, but there are various levels to the journey. For the purpose of this conversation, let me clarify three different levels to this. Highest level, you are married to the person already. Second level, you are not yet married, but if people know and you've more or less agreed. Like Mimi was saying, we in Ghana, we don't do get down on one knee. It's a conversation. Okay, so Charlie, where's your mind at? Where is this going? So you know that marriage is along the horizon. Even if possible, you even set a date ahead. Okay, cool. And then the lowest level is you're checking somebody out. It's not the first couple of interactions. No, you are gone beyond early stage. Like you're talking to the person, it's getting serious, but you're not yet at level 2, the middle level. In any of these situations, would you disclose your income to the person?
Disclosing income for me, I think from level 2 to 3 is where I will work with, where I am actively working towards marriage. And then in marriage, I'm open to disclosing, because I tilt more towards a joint, a collective sort of direction. So it's I'm free with working certain things in between joint and then personal. But what I would ideally prefer is for us to manage our money as a unit. So disclosing will not be a problem for me. But it's not at the level where you are checking somebody out, and that might inform the person's decision as to whether to say yes or not. At least for my part, I feel that decision should be independent of how much I am making. It should be rather a projection into the future. That's when you look at the person. Is this person somebody who has the vision? Is this the person who has the direction? The person who can lead? Is this the person who can assist? I mean, whether it's from the male's point of view or from the view, like, is the person who can, if you are a woman, you should be looking at whether the person can lead. If you're a man, is this person who can assist you in achieving the vision for your life, and vice versa? Is this person who can also inspire me to also get to the next level? So the question of how much I'm earning there is not coming in level 1 at all. And I would rather look at it in level 3 most than level 2 when we are almost into the marriage. Yes, that's fine. Yeah.
That's interesting.
But
Okay.
there are people who they're asking, knowing that answer will take you out.
So I want to speak on that. And I'm just loading up a YouTube video. I saw some snippets on Facebook some time back. It's a conversation on a certain podcast, the Honest Bunch podcast. If anyone watches comedy on Facebook and Instagram, Alaji Musa, sometimes he is a landlord or he's a security man, and he and his squad, what's the other guy's name? Hansman Material. Anyway, they got me onto this particular point, and they are interviewing this Nigerian man. They are Nigerians, and he's I think the name is Ali Baba. He is a comedian in Nigeria. He's a much older man. I'm looking at him. I think he should be in his 50s, maybe 60s. All right, and he said something that there was when he was looking for the person that he would marry. He was talking to different girls, and there were 3 girls. He got a certain job offer, and he showed it to each of them, and he told us the reactions from each of them. The first person was like, "Hey, okay, so you've got this. So where's my own?" I think it was the job offer. No, it wasn't a job offer. It was actual money, like his first salary. So first person was like, "Hey, where's my own?" She wants her share of the money. Okay, cool. The second person said, "Oh, then you have to buy me this. You have to buy me that. You have to buy me this, that." That was the second person. The third person said that, "Okay, come." She worked at a bank. "Come, open account here. Put the money in the bank. Case closed." How many years later? I said 20 or so years later, he's married to the third one, and she's one of the top managers at, is it Zenith Bank? I need to look this up, but yeah. So, and he says that was a sign for him to know who is really going to be supportive, who is thinking about the vision, who knows the priorities of a home, to say that if I'm thinking about a future with this person, we will need money in the future. I can't have him just squandering money all over the place. So what can I do to help him? This is here also, who knows, maybe at that point, she doesn't know if she'll have a future with the person or not, right? But if you're interacting with people and you're showing them your true self, and you always want the best for people, that third woman was someone who was demonstrating that, well, I always want the best for people and not thinking about my self-interest in the short term. I want you yourself as an individual. This is the best decision you should take. And if I'm joining you, this is also an even better decision for us to take, because it will work out for our future. If the first 2 people, I'll go like, yeah, these people are thinking short term, man. These people are thinking short term. And even if you marry them, it will be bills on bills on bills. Like we hear stories about people who have to go and borrow hundreds of thousands. 2 years after their wedding, they still haven't paid vendors. It didn't come from nowhere. It came from some of these ridiculous demands that people make, So for me, I say even on level 1, disclose some of these things. And for someone like me, if someone else asks me, I just say Google it. Okay. And to say thoughts?
Oh no, I thought don't write the number one and number twos of like the first, because they're like, we have changed. Are we not on money convos preaching the gospel?
Investing in stocks.
See, there is still hope.
What God cannot do.
Does not exist.
Okay. Let me. I don't want to say too much because I've had is interested. This is the topic around this. You all know I don't want sometimes when I speak on certain issues, I don't want people to think it's coming from somebody who has divorced, right? And so I'm anti-marriage. I'm all for marriage, and for me, I'm at a point where we're talking about goals, and I said it like this year. I want to make sure that I'm ending the year with somebody I can commit to, so that in the next year or two we can marry, right? I want to make sure. I want to put all factors in place such that I will never divorce again. That's my goal. So yeah, it's true that people can change, but picking up from the conversation, the two pastors you had on investment frame last year, what did the lady say? She said some of these things are about patterns that have been built over time. And sometimes I think about human psychology. How is it that your experiences from your first 16 years get to dictate the rest of your life unless you put in deliberate effort to change it, right? And it's going to be difficult to break out of some of these things. So we doing the selection of either person, you actually are thinking about whether you want to work with another person. You need to ask yourself, are you willing to put in that work? Okay, the person is not exactly where you want the person to be. But so many of us, we all know this concept of New Year resolution. So many people say they will do certain things and they don't do them. So many, like, do you really want to take a chance on something this important? For me, I would say on relationship, nah, because it can make or break you. And someone like me that I'm thinking about generational wealth, I need to make sure that I'm with the right person. So it also depends. If it's something that somebody is willing to take a chance on this, cool. The next best alternative is if you can introduce the person to these concepts and the person is willing to accept it or not. There was someone I mentioned. There was someone I was talking to last. There was someone, and when the person was like, "Oh, she binged money convos," I started taking the person serious. Another person, something came up about money and finances and all that. It's like, no, I don't like that kind of stuff, and it honestly turned me off, right? So because Charlie, build a reputation as a personal finance person, and then the person that you're going to work with, the money will be a problem. Some type of way, So I just encourage people, if at least the person is willing to learn, fine. Do as Sarah is saying, take a chance. Anyway, here ends my rant.
I feel like even for maybe even like Siram was saying, if like let me just pair you and Siram. Okay. A lot of the time, those who would want to, but they don't know. So if you are somebody who has a clear understanding on where you are going, I think it's a bit easier to read people and be able to assess that, okay, this person may be willing. But when you like Siram said, we both didn't know where we are going. For you to even be able to assess that, oh yes, I don't invest, but hey, this sounds like a good idea. So we'll be able to do this and this if we set money aside. I think that's different. I don't know about you. But I also think that these conversations are very important. It's unfortunate that a lot of young people, don't get to hear these things, because for me, at the time I was getting married or dating, I don't think I was thinking about this, honestly. Like, honestly, my whole dating experience, I don't think I talked about anything that serious, like any serious thing. I don't think I talked about any serious thing. So I'm sure a lot of young people are on this table, and I think we should like continue talking about it, um, both formally and informally, because it can make a big difference between, even if you have the right spouse, whether you like how fast you succeed, whether you enjoy life or not. Like, yeah.
That's a good point. So to young people, let's learn. Let's build our capacities. Even if you don't know anything about this, if I'm not just to young people, to anybody, let today be a turning point. Let today be a turning point. If you don't know, at least now you are being aware. If you are someone who is trying to talk to somebody, or you are in a situation, or you are in a relationship, at least you can use Mandy Convos and Investment Friend as care of. The way Mimi made encourage her husband to go and watch the How to Get Rich on Netflix, you can do same. Oh, there are some people who had this interesting conversation on Twitter. It's on YouTube and podcast. Can you go listen to it? Yes. So search for Money Convos on YouTube, and wherever you listen to your podcast, you can play back. Go to Investment Friend on Instagram at investment_friend. There was a wonderful conversation last week on what was the exact topic, but it was about money and in love situation. I think it was the day after Val's Day. So just go through the feed. I definitely recommend that one. Mimi, what's the title of that particular conversation?
Have money and everything in between.
The title is even a corner to say love, money, and everything in between. Just go listen to it. Yeah, listen to it. It's nice, and it's fun. It's a fun conversation, very light, and from that time, Sarah just used that conversation to remind us that when she's chopping her husband's money is sweeter. But anyway, please, we have no excuse now. Let's just share this. Let's help people to improve. Okay, it's true. What's done is done. What's in the past is in the past. But let's move forward. Let's improve. Anyway, today we've gone so far beyond time. It seems when there is matters of the heart, we go way longer than our usual 1 hour planned. So let's see. I think there's just one more question. Oh, actually, I think that we've already covered those ones. So what we can just do is we can just give some final words for the on this topic of money dates and talking about money in general. Let's start with Edem, and then we go to Mimi, and then Seram, and then we can call it a night. So Edem, you want to give us some final words? Say something for the bachelor boys and girls.
Ah, you know why I was laughing when Mimi was talking earlier? She had said that when you both have agreed and everything, it is very important because some people, they are in the relationship alone. They think they are in a relationship with somebody, but they are in a relationship alone.
Bas.
You
I
have
cry.
to be,
I cry.
you need to be sure. then I mean, you have to use these money dates, but they are very money.
Wait, I missed it. I missed what you said.
No, I said, when you said that when the two of you have to, if the two of you have agreed to marry and everything, I'm saying it's very, very important because some people are in a relationship alone. They think that they are in a relationship with somebody, but actually the person is somewhere else with her. So you have to be very, very sure about that. And the money matters are very, very important. We need to have those conversations. I think the most important thing, what I gleaned from our conversation today and what I'm also taking away and what I would emphasize is that we should have the conversations, let these discussions, especially for young people, don't delay these discussions until you are surprised in marriage. I mean, at least the experts have told us here that it's very, very important that we discuss all these things so that you don't walk into marriage without understanding where the two of you are on the matters of marriage, money, how it is spent, how it is coming in, where are your priorities going to be in terms of where you're putting your monies and all of that. So it's important that these conversations are had. No, and even when it's getting difficult, I mean, you could always take a break, come back again, and make sure that you are at least on the same level concerning virtually everything that has to do with money. And I believe that would take away a lot of our issues that can spring up or become or blow out of proportion, as I said earlier, that you can prevent these things from blowing out of proportion later on in life. So it's better to bite the bullet now, sort out all the issues that have to be sorted out, and then you may have a better time in the future. Yeah.
That's a good one there. Thank you, Adam. Mimi, how about you?
Yeah, so I was saying that, like any other important and controversial topic, I would encourage people to have it early in smaller doses in the beginning of the relationship, or even when you're dating or trying to decide if this person is the one or not. Also making sure that you are observant, it's not just about what people see or people having perfect, responses to answers, but it's about observing and seeing how they act as well. And as it goes deeper, or as you begin to commit more and more to the relationship, also deepening that conversation, from it being just, what's your money behavior? How do you spend money, etc., to, where are we going? How do we get there? And breaking it down and continuously having that conversation once we commit. I think it's very important to ensure that as a family we are able to achieve our goals, and then it also avoids conflict and even the potential of separating or ending a union. So these are very important conversations. Just know where you are at in your relationship and have certain conversations. If you go and tell someone your salary now, there may be a lot of demands on it. So when you are just starting, just little doses of conversations, and then observe, open your eyes well and observe. Then as you progress, you go deeper, talking about vision, where we are going, etc. Yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for those very wise words. Auntie C, how about you? What do you have for us?
I think Mimi and Bishop have said it all, but just to add that it's never too late to start. Like, yeah, it could be late, but if you are listening to us, please if you haven't started, start the conversation now. Decide to be intentional about talking about these difficult. Money is difficult. Money is very difficult. A difficult topic to talk about, but try it. Start talking about it, as Mimi said, in small doses. Decide to start talking about it now, and don't wait till, especially if you are not married, don't wait till you get into the marriage. And if you are married, then please, if you haven't started talking about it, please start talking about it now. Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie C. I'll also keep it quite crisp. I think we should all work on our communication skills. I'm taking this class called interpersonal skills in my MBA program, and it made me realize that, well, more recently in a work setting, yeah, people would know me to be driving and aggressive, but in dealing with people, I can be very gentle unless it's crunch time. But I don't have that kind of that much of that patience in my personal life. So I am like, I need to work on some of my communication skills. So I'll encourage all of us, let's work on our communication skills. It will help us in many aspects of our lives, because this money date is all about talking. We are saying talk about money, talk about money. It's all communication, right? So let's build those foundational skills as individuals, so that we can use those skills in various aspects of our lives. And then also, finally, in line with what Sarah has said, let's learn, let's ask questions, let's seek solutions, let's just constantly grow. And most importantly, let's follow Money Convos here on X, on Instagram, on Facebook. Go to YouTube, go subscribe to the channel, and then also on Instagram, follow us there. Wherever you listen to podcasts, search for Money Convos, right? And when you get on Instagram, before you get distracted, go follow at investment_friend. It's not just there, it's not just talk. It's even more engaging. It's building community, working with people towards a shared agenda. That vision has kept coming up today, getting people to help you, more targeted information towards your personal situation. Some of the answers that we said, it depends. Maybe you do it this way, maybe you do it that way. Now you get an opportunity with Investment Friend for it to be more tailored towards your unique situation. So go follow us on social media, and we hope to hear from you next week. We'll be having another interesting conversation. The next couple of weeks, the the pipeline is rich because the team is just, I don't know what they are drinking, what kind of tea they are drinking, but just bars on bars. So be looking forward to the next couple of conversations. I promise they will be interesting. Actually, next week I can actually say it ahead of time. Next week we are having a conversation about being discerning. What kind of advice should you listen to? Whose advice should you listen to? So it'll be like a reaction to something that happened, and we will just try to figure out who should you listen to, under what circumstances, which part is good, which part is not good, so that you, as we ask you to learn, go figure things out and seek solutions, you know what solutions are in your favor. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day, and have a good weekend when it comes. Catch you next week. Bye.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to our thoughts. I hope you learned a thing or two and start practicing. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Clubhouse, and Facebook. And subscribe to our YouTube and podcast. Do tell a friend about Money Convos so we all become wealthy together. Talk to you soon. Bye.